So go ahead and find your way into a comfortable position, whether you're lying down or seated is completely up to you. And as you can, as you like, just let your eyes close if you haven't already. And as you close your eyes, feel like your bottom eyelid and your top eyelid are meeting together in the middle. And notice those first few moments of closing your eyes, those first couple of breaths you take when you close your eyes. What happens? Perhaps you notice that suddenly there's more intention in your breath. There's more purpose. Or your breath gets a little bit deeper, or a little bit longer, or a little bit fuller. Perhaps there's certain movements, like little wiggles or shifts that you make in your body once your eyes close. You become aware of different feelings or different sensations in your body once your eyes are closed. Maybe you become aware of tension you're holding in your face or your shoulders. And then once you close your eyes, you're like, oh, relax. Oh, okay. So just notice what those things are. Notice what those shifts are for you. Notice how the breath changes, if it changes. Notice the sounds that are in the space with you. Notice the sounds that are maybe outside of the space but still with you. Maybe coming from another room, another part of your house, maybe coming from outside. The sky outside today, the weather is the perfect example of what I like to call the moodiness of spring. Like that's the only way I feel like to describe the weather today or to describe the sky today. If you look up, you've got like patches of like really dark gray clouds. And you have this bright blue patches of sky where the sun can shine through and really white, clean, puffy looking clouds and wispy clouds. And then it's a little windy and then it's clear and then it's sunny and you're putting your jacket on and then you're taking it off. And the whole atmosphere of outside just has this very like moodiness to it. And I don't know, I feel like the weather is really mirroring our collective state of humanity right now. Like everyone's getting a little crazy, a little stir crazy maybe, a little moody, up and down. I know I am, lots of ups and downs. One day I'm like, this is great. I love the time. I love the space. I love the silence. The next day I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And then it goes away again. Comes, it goes. Moody. I feel like moody is the best way that I can describe this whole experience right now. Maybe you've noticed that. Maybe that resonates for you. But the important thing is what our yoga practice teaches us is to just hold space for the awareness of that, to hold space for the awareness of our own moodiness that matches the sky right now, that matches the weather right now. And in our yin practice, it's the same. The moodiness of the postures, some of them where we get in and we're like, oh, this big, deep stretch feels so good. And then we get into another spot, we're like, oh, relaxation, I'm resting, I'm relaxed, feels amazing. And then we might move into another posture that's really playing on the edges of our own tightness and our own tension in our body. And we're like, oh, I hate this pose, or this pose is so hard for me. And maybe sometimes we even just say, I'm not doing that posture today because I hate it so much, or it just doesn't feel right, or it doesn't feel good. And you know what? That's okay. So give yourself permission for this practice to do what you need, to not do what you don't need. If you need to keep it a little more low-key and relaxing, there'll be options for that. If you want to stretch it out a little bit deeper, there'll be options for that. You can decide for yourself what you need at every moment with every breath. Just taking a few more breaths where you are, setting your intention of honoring today, right now, as it is, all moodiness that may be present or that may show up. And we're going to start today in one of my own personal favorite kind of love-hate postures. So the posture we're going to start with today is called banana asana. So some of you are familiar with that one, and you might take yourself there knowing what it is. I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So I'm going to go back to my mat, but I'm going to demonstrate it for you standing up because I think that just is easier. So banana asana is you're lying down and you take your legs over to one side, and then you take your torso over and you can put your arms up. You don't have to, so you're making this like half moon crescent shape, but you're lying on the ground. So I was lying on the ground. You guys can see me okay? Yeah. So you would walk your legs over to one side, maybe crossing one leg. You don't have to, but you could. You'll start to feel some sensation in like the outer hip, the waist, and then you kind of nudge your shoulders over as well. And again, you can rest your arms on your stomach, your arms by your sides. If you want a little bit more stretch, you reach your arms up overhead and either hold opposite elbows, or you could even hold on or pull the wrist of the long side. And then you land. And once you land and you stop shifting, you'll immediately probably notice that you have to shift again. Like for me, I have my ankle crossed and that's not sustainable, so I'm gonna uncross my ankle. Also, I like holding opposite elbows as opposed to holding onto my wrist. And then there you are. And you want both of your hips, so both of your buttocks touching the floor still, so you don't want to be like rolled over on your side. And you want both of your shoulders and shoulder blades on the ground as well. And we'll be here for about 3 minutes. So you can close your eyes. You could easily let your head fall from one side to the other. You can close your eyes, or if you have something in your space that, just is nice to look at. Like I have a window here that I can look out, which is really nice. I can watch the moodiness of the sky. Maybe you have that as well. Or just close your eyes and go inside. And start to explore the thoughts and words and things that show up as you're holding these maybe really comfortable postures or maybe slightly uncomfortable postures. And as always, your breath is there for a tool. Your breath is there for support. So if you feel like your mind is really obsessed with something or distracted by something that maybe you just don't want it to be, you can come to your breath and just notice the breath move in and out of the body. In a big side opener like this one, you can pay attention to the way the breath is moving into that lung on the extended side, the way the ribs are expanding. Just noticing the feelings of intentional stillness, of stillness with a purpose. Whether that purpose is to stretch your body, to release tension, to nurture and take care of your joints and tissues. Maybe for you, the purpose is more to relax and to calm your nervous system. If at any point you start to feel the sensation, the stretch, leaving your body, moving out of your body, and you feel like maybe going a little bit deeper into the posture, you are always welcome to explore your edge further at any point. Same thing goes if maybe it becomes unsustainable for you and you need to back out a little bit, lighten the intensity, that's okay too. Let's take 4 more breaths. And after that 4th breath, go ahead and release the posture, release the pose onto your back again. And I really like to take a little bit of time between each posture. So as you come onto your back, you could walk your feet out towards the edges of your space, just wider, and bring your knees together. Come into this kind of nice constructive resting pose. That feels really good. You could also just maybe hug your knees into your chest. You could bring the bottoms of your feet together, open your knees out into a butterfly shape. Just coming somewhere that feels pretty neutral to you before we do the next side. And you might notice a pretty massive imbalance between the side of your body that we were just opening and the other side of the body, right? Like for me, it feels a little bit, and I didn't even hold it as long as you guys did, but for me, it feels a little bit like I'm like scrunched over to the other side a little bit. So now we'll balance it out. So you'll extend your legs again. And then this time you'll walk them over to the other side. Again, you might cross, you might not. I'm going to not cross this time because it didn't work so well for me last time. Sometimes I'll just cross my toes. That works pretty well. And then, as you'd like, you kind of shimmy or wiggle your torso over as well. And we do practice yin with cold muscles, so it might feel, a little intense, right? When we're used to being like warm first. But it's so that we can nurture the connective tissues, the joints and ligaments and all the parts of our body that tend to get more brittle and tighter as we age. And so, again, finding whatever variation, whatever feels good on this side, whether the arms are up or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the same as it was on the other side. You have 2 sides. They're different. They're imbalanced. It's okay. Do what feels good. Do what feels good on this side. And just letting your eyes close, or if you can see nature from your space. There's a huge gust of wind blowing outside my house right now. So if you hear any loud bangs, it's probably just tree branches falling down or something. The moodiness of spring. I kind of was worried we weren't going to get it, so I'm happy to see it. If you're in Boise, that's what's happening here. Just let yourself settle in, breathe into the space you're in right now in your body. If at any point maybe your body temperature starts to drop, that happens to mine as I am relaxing. Whenever I'm doing any kind of practice or getting work done that helps me to relax my nervous system, calm my nervous system, I have a tendency to get really cold. So if that happens for you, it's okay. You can get up, go grab a blanket, go grab a sweater or something, whatever you need. You want to really take care of yourself. So again, we're going to be here about 3 minutes total. You're about halfway. As this practice is done mostly on the floor, lying and sitting down on the ground, or maybe you're doing it in your bed, which would be fine too. But as this practice is, done really in connection with the energy of grounding and connecting to the earth and earthing, I invite you through all of the postures that we practice today, all of the holds, all of the movements, to really keep your attention on that downward pull of Mother Earth. We just celebrated 50th anniversary of Earth Day yesterday, which was pretty amazing, but also Earth Day should really be every day. So Yin is a really great time to reconnect with that energy of Mother Earth, that feeling of moving down, of sinking, of dropping, of releasing. It's the energy of Earth. And yoga, it's a downward energetic channel we call Apana, A-P-A-N-A, Apana Vayu, V-A-Y-U. There's different vayus that move through and around us. And the Apana Vayu is the downward flow of energy. It goes with gravity. Give yourself permission to give into that fully and completely. Again, if you feel like you need to adjust the posture in any way, deepen or back out a little bit, always go ahead and do that for yourself. And we'll take about 4 more breaths here. And then go ahead and release the posture. Again, moving maybe back onto your back. Finding a neutral position for yourself. You'd like to hug the knees into the chest, or resting the feet wide, knees together in constructive resting pose. Reclining butterfly, whatever feels like a neutral space for you. If you're hugging the knees into the chest, you might find a little rocking movement side to side. You could also take the feet out wide and drop the knees from side to side, coming into like wide windshield wipers, something like this maybe. That feels good. One of my favorite neutral places to go on my back is just to come onto my back and like take my legs up in the air. You can keep your knees bent. That helps me really ground through my spine, really connect my back to the floor. And there's a little mini inversion bonus there too. When you're ready, we're going to come up to seated, so you can roll onto your side and press yourself up. That's the easiest way to get there. Or you could spinal rock up. And we're going to come into what is sometimes a little bit of a controversial posture because it doesn't always work or feel great for everybody. So I'm going to give you 2 options for this one. I'll start with the option that's more gentle, which is funny because we just came up, and then you're going to move on to your back again. So I'm going to show you the more gentle option first. So the pose or the posture that we're working into is half hero's pose. And if you know that half hero's pose is where you fold your foot back, like next to your thigh, next to your buttock, that's not great for a lot of people. So if that's not great for you, you look at that and you cringe already. Don't try it. If you cringe just by looking at it, you come back onto your back instead, and you take your feet wide and your knees wide, and you drop both knees to one side, and you just hold there. Or you take the outer leg, so my knees are to the left right now, so I take my left ankle and rest it on the right thigh.
And then if you want to, that opposite foot, you can kind of start to pull in a little closer maybe to your buttock. You don't have to. And that's going to still stretch through that hip flexor, which is what we're going for, and a little through that quadricep. Now, if you want to go this route, you lean to one side, so your legs are out. Lean to one side, leg is pretty far. You fold one leg back. And then what I do is I hold my calf muscle and roll it out as I bring myself back. And then you can adjust. Might feel comfortable to go a little wider with your legs. Together might be fine. Or this could be plenty. This could be enough. Whew. Just sitting here like this. Or you could kind of take yourself back a little bit. Or you could take yourself back maybe onto your elbows. Some of you might be able to go all the way down onto the ground. Or if you have a prop of some kind, a pillow, a bolster, I don't know, a chair, something that you can lean back on, you could use that. Oh yeah, that's good. You could use that for support. So, hopefully you've landed in whatever variation of this half hero's pose you're going to take. Seated, lying down, wherever it is. We'll be here for several minutes, just like we were in the last posture. And if your knee starts to bother you in any way in this particular pose, I invite you to first try taking that leg out maybe just a little bit wider, taking the knee out a little bit to the side. And if that doesn't do the trick for you, then perhaps you need to come out of the option you're in, back out of it, and try a different variation. Or you say, I hate this pose, I hate it so much, I'm not going to do it because this is on the internet and you can't see me. And even if you could see me, you wouldn't care if I did it or not, because that's true too. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's okay. You have the full power. You are fully empowered to say, I don't want to do that. Fully empowered. You're fully empowered to say, I'm going to do it differently. As long as you listen to your body, you are doing it exactly right. As long as you listen to your body, you are doing it exactly right. So wherever you are, whatever you are doing or not doing, close your eyes and just be there. If it's intense, be with the intensity. If it feels good, be with the pleasure. Don't let it feel painful. Don't let it feel painful. You've got about 1 more minute. Let's take 4 more breaths. If you're on your back and you took the wide windshield wiper variation, just uncross the ankle, maybe windshield wiper your knees back and forth, or just release your legs. If you're in the seated or lying down variation from here, if you're lying down, you're gonna slowly walk yourself up. And the way we got into it is how we'll get out of it. So you'll let your weight come over, and if you want, you come all the way over, like I'm all the way on my forearm. And slowly release the leg. And then what would feel good? I just like to shake it out, like wiggle toes, bounce my knee a few times, like I'm bouncing a basketball. Maybe massage the leg out a little bit. The ankle.
Whatever feels good for you here in between sides is great. And then we will switch and know that this side might need something different than the other side did. So if you're lying down, you're going to just switch your knees over to the other side, maybe crossing the outer ankle and the thigh again. If you're seated, you roll to the other side, you fold the leg back, and again, maybe you pull that butt in closer to the buttock and you roll the calf out. Adjust your seat here. That knee needs to go a little bit wider, it totally can. Here you are. This could be good. Or if you want to go back, go back. And if this is an intense posture for you, like it is for so many, notice the desire to clench, like through your shoulders and through your neck and throat and your jaw. I know for me when stuff's tense, I'm like, my face is relaxed, but everything else is really tense. Try to like relax as much of that as you can. If it means you need to like move your arms around a little bit or move your head around a little bit to release this sort of area through here. Maybe move your jaw around a little bit. Let this upper part of you that isn't in the posture relax. Tensing your shoulders is not going to make this less intense on your leg. Promise, it isn't. Same thing goes with clenching your jaw. It's not going to take away the intensity of the stretch. I promise. See if you can't let yourself get a little bit heavier here. If you can't let your body get just a little bit heavier. And we'll take 3 more breaths. And again, if you're lying on your back with wide knees, you'll just uncross the ankle and release your legs. If you're seated, if you're lying down, come up first. If you're seated, then you'll roll to one side and very, very gently release that leg out. Release, release, straighten the leg. Ooh. Give it a little shake as you like. Shaking out both of the legs. And then when you're ready, find your way to hands and knees. Finding your way into a tabletop position. And I apologize for the potential sound. My neighbor is currently mowing, is having his lawn mowed. So you might be hearing that, part of the experience, right, at home yoga, all those sounds. So coming into tabletop for a few breaths. And from here, just take one of those legs back, toes curled under, and just let yourself rock back and forth. Or maybe you want to lift it up and like roll the ankle out, or just kind of give it a little shake. So just letting the feeling come back into that leg. Feels pretty good. And then other side. We're gonna come back to seated, but if you're on hands and knees and you feel like it would feel really good to take a couple of like cat-cow stretches, that does feel pretty good. You could do that. Or maybe for you, it would feel really good to get the blood flowing back into your feet to move into a downward facing dog for a couple of breaths. Or maybe you want to sit back in a child's pose for a moment. Just giving yourself this opportunity to listen to your body really closely and see if there is a movement or something that your body would like before you move back to seated. And maybe there isn't. Maybe you're like, no, I'm good. I'm going to come to seated. That's fine too. But just check in. Just check in. And then when you are ready, now if you're like in a space, like you found a zone for yourself, feel free to stay there as long as you want to. There's no rush. If and when you're ready to be seated, find your way there. Both legs are going to extend, and we're going to kind of do similar, same but different. So we're going to take, instead of folding the leg back like we just did, this time we're going to fold it in. So now your knee's going to go open, and you're going to bring your foot to the inside of your thigh. And if you can, try to keep your extended leg as straight out in front of you as possible. Sometimes we open up like this and take like this wide seat. Try to keep it forward as much as you can. So it's kind of like you're in tree pose, but you're sitting in tree pose. I don't know if you noticed, but my foot immediately is like, whoop, active, flexed. No, this is yin. Relax your foot, relax your toes, relax your ankle. It's hard. You have a little bend in your knee. You could put a little blanket under your knee, or maybe a little blanket under this knee. That feels good. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to fold over that leg. So that might look something like this. That might be as far as you're going to go today. Maybe it's a little bit further. Maybe you rest on the leg. Again, if you have any sort of props, really great way to come into this shape is to use some kind of like a pillow support or a block. Fold over, help you support yourself. But you have your own body too. So you could even come like here and maybe got my elbows sort of resting on my thigh. That may or may not work for you. If you can come down to where you can stack one fist on top of the other, maybe rest your head on your stacked fists. And again, if you don't have support, that's okay. You can still come, just, drop down, fold over, drop your head. Drop your shoulders, round your back. If you can, see if you can tilt your chest forward any amount. You can reach your chest forward any amount. And then again, just round and hold and breathe. If that straight leg wants to rotate open or rotate in, you could totally let it. Or you could keep it straight using just enough energy in the hip to keep the leg straight. I know for me, I have really mobile hips. They've also been referred to as really floppy hips. So my leg has a tendency to flop open, and personally, it doesn't feel really great. So I keep it just enough engaged that it's straight. That doesn't mean that you have to do that. That just is what works for me. And with this one, if at any point your body offers you a deepening of the posture, feel free to take it. Same thing goes if the body is like, you went too far, we're holding this for a long time, you forgot. You can come up and be like, okay, that's good there. Part of the reason we don't take ourselves to like, all right, I'm gonna grab my foot and I'm gonna pull myself and I'm gonna hold this for 5 minutes. It's not sustainable for our body, for our joints, for our muscles, any part of us. It's not good for our brain to always be in this state of like have to do more active, like super imbalanced masculine energy. Like that's not healthy for us either. And B, your body will never gain flexibility or healing. Your body will never heal from traumas, physical, muscular, or tissue traumas, joint traumas, if you're constantly in a state of pushing it past its limits, of pushing it past its boundaries. Now, I am a strong believer that our bodies actually have limitless potential if we just listen to them and give them what they need with food and rest and movement and stretching and pleasure and exercise, and there's so many things. Our bodies have a limitless potential. We have to take care of them, and most of us don't learn that lesson when we're younger. We don't learn that lesson as human children. I know I didn't. My lesson was like, do more, be more flexible, stretch harder, be better, go faster, all of those things. And so, yeah, I probably injured my body so many times without even realizing it. So my body's been, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to get to a place of healing, and I'm more flexible now at almost 40 years old than I was ever when I was a teenager. So all I'm really saying is we have to take good care of our bodies. We have to give our bodies time, and we can't be always in a state of like, be better, work harder. Not with our bodies, not with our minds. So don't feel like you have to go to your max capacity of stretch in any of these postures. Because by holding back a little bit, by staying back from that heavy edge, you're actually helping your body more. You're actually supporting your body more. Got just a few more breaths here. And on the other side of that, because it's always a balance, sometimes after we hold these really soft postures or we hold these more gentle folds for a while, our body says, it would actually feel really good to just intensify the stretch a little bit, to activate the stretch, because we've been here for so long. So if that feels that way to you, you could now flex that foot, and maybe you want to hold the calf or the ankle or even the foot, and you're not pulling or tugging, but maybe you're just intensifying a little bit. I like to put a little bend in that knee and get more of a calf stretch out of it. Just for a few breaths. And then wherever you are, whether you intensified or activated or didn't, it does not matter. Slowly start to bring yourself up. And we'll switch to the other side. So I like to use my hands to move my legs because it's yin, and I'm trying to use the least amount of effort possible. So coming to the other side, and this side might need, like every side, might need different support. So again, you could put something underneath the bent knee for support. You could put something underneath the straight leg to lift that knee up a little bit. Relax those toes and ankle. There I was, flexing my foot again. Relax that foot. And then, again, you might just, this might be plenty. You might just be right here. Just let your chin drop, let your eyes close. Maybe your shoulders and chest move a little forward. If your hands get to the floor, fine. If you can stack your fists, rest your forehead. You could take your hands underneath your calf. That gives a little support to that knee. That can be kind of nice. So certainly you're going to feel this in the back of that straight leg. You're also hopefully feeling it in your back, alongside your spine. And I know that if I put a little bend in that knee or put my hands under my calf, I definitely get more in my spine and more in my back, which for me feels really good.
Up to you where you want that sensation to be in your body.
Remember, you're giving your body time and space to heal. You're giving your body time and space to gain more limitless potential, to gain more flexibility, to have more stamina. But in order to do that, you have to meet the body where it is and allow it the time and the space to heal. So in all of these yin postures, remember, you are giving your body space to heal. Time to heal. There's no competition here. So notice on this side, if you feel like you want to activate or intensify the stretch. If so, go for it. You certainly can. You can flex the foot, maybe hold on to the leg. If that feels supportive or encouraging in any way. If there's any part of you that feels like you should intensify the stretch, like I better intensify the stretch to, prove to myself that I'm flexible or whatever, then don't do it. Just stay where you are. Just stay where you are. Be passive in the stretch. Be passive in the posture. 4 more breaths. If you're folded forward in any way, you'll slowly come up and we'll release the leg. We are going to go back down onto our backs. Of course, if there's anywhere you want to go between here and your back, you know that you can. You have the ability to do that. Come onto your back when you're ready. And let's just end together with just an easy spinal twist, hugging the knees into the chest and dropping the knees over to one side. Maybe you want to rest the hand on the outer thigh, maybe the other arm reaches away. Maybe you look away, maybe not. If this is pretty intense for you, you could always rest your bottom leg on some sort of support, prop of some kind. Just taking 5 or 6 breaths in this twist. We're not going to hold it for very long. If you have that opposite arm extended, maybe feel like someone's holding onto your hand and just like pulling yourself away as you stretch, twisting that spine just a little bit more. Maybe use your other hand to give yourself like a little assist on your hip. Just wringing it out. Feels so good. And then we'll release. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale. Take them over to the other side. And then again, maybe your hand goes on that outer thigh.
Maybe you reach that arm away. Maybe you press on that hip, kind of deepening that twist a little bit. Two more breaths. And then release the twist. And we'll take about 1 minute. I'll time you guys 1 minute for anything else. Maybe wide knees, windshield wipers. Could just be knees to chest. Maybe it's legs up in the air. If you have a wall, you can go to the wall and do legs up the wall. Maybe it's a bridge pose. 1 minute to move in any other way. If you're watching on Instagram, sorry, my phone just went low and paused it for a second there. So we're taking a minute for anything else. Anything else. Any other movements. And then we are coming into Shavasana. We're coming into rest and into relaxation. And this is where I highly invite you to grab a blanket if you have one available. Because this moody weather we're having, if you're in Boise especially, this moody weather we're having certainly lends itself to cozy blankets. Like I have one right here. I'm going to put it on my lap. So you're making your way into Shavasana. You're coming into that final relaxation place. And that can be on your back, and that could be on your side, that could be on your belly. Landing, closing your eyes, and feeling your body just as it is right now. Feeling parts of your body that are more obvious to your awareness, to your attention. Maybe your hips, your thighs, your spine, maybe your back, your ribs, your neck. Noticing too that maybe there's parts of your body that don't have as much obvious sensation. Maybe your shoulders or your ankles, your lower legs, your feet. Feel the ground, feel the floor. Whether you're lying on it or you're lying on something that is on the floor, feel the floor. Take a deep inhale and exhale if you can out your mouth. Feel yourself releasing your body, releasing your breath. And before we practice together today, I took my Radiant Sutras book. I haven't actually opened it for quite a while, but I picked it up and I was like, I need to read a Radiant Sutra today. And I didn't go to any of the ones that I know that I love off the top of my head. I just said, okay. It was like spirit shuffle, and I just opened it up. So this is the sutra that Source, the universe, needs you to hear today. So I'm going to read it to you. It's sutra number 109. Native of eternity, at home in infinity, breathing immortality. Native of eternity, at home in infinity, breathing immortality. Let these words sing in every cell. Oceans of splendor, luminous energies of creation,
pulsating everywhere, always. Hear these astounding words continually, each phrase an invocation. Let the sounds ripple through you, resonate with the all-pervading hum of truth, and know every fleeting moment is supported by forever. Native of eternity, at home in infinity, breathing immortality. Give your body permission to relax even more. Give yourself permission to let go of whatever you're holding on to physically or mentally or emotionally. You don't even have to know what it is, but give yourself permission to just let go for a few minutes. Just let everything fall. Everything you have holding, everything you have been holding or juggling, all your multitasking or stressing, doing nothing, your boredom, whatever it is, just let it go. Imagine yourself just releasing, like you're taking off a jacket, you're taking off a heavy trench coat. And you just let that trench coat fall to the ground, fall to the earth. Let that trench coat fall with gravity. And feel the weight lifted. Able now to notice and feel only the heaviness that is your own body. Only the heaviness that is your own body on the floor. Feel the floor turn to sand, soft, warm sand. As you make a slightly deeper indentation into the sand than you were into the hard floor. And now feel the sand become quicksand. And now you feel your body begin to sink, begin to drop. Feel as though your body is a large round stone sinking through the quicksand, down, 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 deeper and deeper, heavier and heavier. Sinking down, down, down. Feel your body land on the floor once again. Sinking down, 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 and landing back on the floor where you started, or back on the surface where you started. Take a deeper breath. Feel the solid surface below you, fully supporting you. Feel the earth fully supporting you. You are so welcome to stay right where you are if you'd like. Or if you'd like to, you could start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And staying connected with that downward moving energy, that apana vayu, that earth gravity. You are of the earth. Your body is of the earth. You are supported by the earth. Thank you. Roll your wrists and ankles. Maybe start to rock your head from side to side. And at any point, you might just take one of those like big, long stretches. If you'd like to make your way up to seated, you could do so. You don't have to. It's not required of you. Just going into the rest of your day with love and awareness, peace. You know, just know spring is moody. It's okay if you're moody too. I love you. Namaste.